Why is it that the more we achieve, the more exhausted we usually feel? I mean, you'd think checking off those big life goals, like the promotion or the perfect resume, would make life feel lighter.
Right, but usually it just, adds more weight to the pack.
Exactly. So today we are diving into an exploration into the source material titled A Beautiful Place to Get Lost. And our mission here is really to help you navigate what the author calls the maze of the mind.
Yeah, and to understand why the very stories we carry around might actually be the thing keeping us from truly experiencing life. It's a really fascinating look at how we get stuck.
It really is. Because we usually think of getting lost as this terrible thing, right?
Right. Well, the source suggests we are actually already lost in this maze of our own making. Like, just think of how your mind works for a second. It is essentially a problem-solving machine.
Oh, totally. It's always looking for the next thing to fix.
Exactly. It actually creates friction or problems just so it can get that dopamine hit of solving them. I mean, it's evolutionarily wired for survival to scan for threats and categorize everything.
But in a modern context, that just means we spend all our time overanalyzing the past and, worrying about what ifs.
Right. We are stuck in this closed loop where the mind basically celebrates itself for fixing messes that it kind of invented in the first place.
So we're essentially just hamsters on a wheel, but we think we're running a marathon.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And let's look at the luggage we bring onto that wheel. The source talks about these iron boxes, right? Like our titles, our roles, even personal traumas.
Oh, yeah, the analogy with the gold bricks on the mountain trek, that really stuck with me.
Right. Like, sure, society says these things are valuable, they're gold. But if you carry them on a grueling hike after 10 miles, you do not care about the value.
You just want the pain to stop.
Exactly. The weight just exhausts you eventually.
But here is my issue with that. In the real world, you can't just drop those bricks. If you're not a manager or a parent or, a success, how do you pay the mortgage?
That is the exact tension we all feel.
Right. Like, how do you even function in society if you just remove the I without totally disappearing?
Well, the source explains that we confuse our tools with our actual self. So think of your identity, your name, your history, your skills as this high-tech suit you wear to navigate the world.
Okay, so it's useful data.
Exactly. It's useful. But the problem starts when you actually think you are the suit. When you believe you're the character in the story, you are limited by the script.
Oh, I see. So it's about realizing you are the screen the story is projected onto, not the character itself. That gives you a lot more flexibility.
Yeah, you don't disappear. You just, stop being so exhausted by having to maintain this constant, rigid image.
Right. I kind of see it like looking at life through pixels. We have millions of these tiny separate data points like, this is good or that is bad.
Yeah, or I am this specific thing.
Exactly. And we're so focused on the resolution of those individual dots that we completely miss the actual continuous image. We get all the numbers, but we miss the essence.
That is spot on. And zooming out like that is what the source refers to as the present. Most things in our heads have an opposite.
Right, like success versus failure or love versus hate.
Right, but the present is unique because it is the only thing that doesn't have an opposite. It's just baseline reality. It survives all the contradictions of the human mind.
And when you drop those labels, that's when you experience what the Reflections call love.
Exactly. And not the romantic kind, but this state where the wall between you and the world just sort of dissolves. It's like a water droplet.
Oh, right. The water droplet moving from the mountain to the ocean.
Yeah, it starts as a stream, becomes a river, then the ocean. The names change, the forms change, but the movement never stops. It's always just water.
Okay, that sounds really peaceful, but also a bit passive maybe? Like if I am just flowing water, how do I actually make decisions?
That's a fair point to bring up.
Right, because we are taught that confidence and certainty are the keys to a good life. Like if I walk into a big meeting and just say, I don't know, I'm getting fired.
Well, actually, the source argues that certainty is a cage. When you are totally certain, you have stopped learning. You've locked the door.
Oh, wow. So certainty is the trap.
Yeah, and honesty, like the ability to admit, is really the only gate that stays open. In a high-stakes environment, the person who's most alive is the one flexible enough to see reality as it actually is.
Right, not just how their ego wants it to be.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is that the highest form of consciousness isn't complex intelligence at all. It's just being yourself with the least amount of effort.
Sort of like the rose analogy, right? He doesn't try to be a rose.
Right. It just is. And that is why it's beautiful. It's the natural state. Every judgment you project outward actually exists within you, so there's no real separation.
So we have really moved from this cage of our mental labels to realizing the I is just a character, a story we can choose to stop over-editing.
Yeah, it is about being the river, not just the drop. Realizing you are the space in which everything happens.
That makes a lot of sense. So as you go about your day, think about this. If you removed every label you own, your career, your nationality, your role in your family, what is the energy that remains? And why are you so afraid to let that energy just exist without giving it a name?